What is the definition of insanity? Throwing yourself at a wall over and over and over and hoping for a different outcome. However, insanity is the only way to truly know anything. It is through repetition that you learn the cracks in the wall, see the weaknesses in its design, and eventually your insanity gives birth to brilliance. Yes, only through insanity can we truly grow. Today, let us into the prisons of a mad island, one that is constantly changing, shifts and morphs around you. No matter how many times you try, you will never see the cracks in the wall as your mind and body and resolve begins to crack under the eldritch glow of dead cells.
From the creative minds of Motion Twin, enter Dead Cells, the Metroidvania roguelike that surpasses expectations. Dead Cells follows the path of the prisoner, a bodiless pulsing sack of glowybix that crawls into a corpse and animates it to life. You venture through the island, through prisons and ramparts and sewers and graveyards, all to get to the end. As far as what's at the end, what is all this for? What is your purpose? No one really knows. Only time and a lot of dead bodies will tell. Dead Cells is a Metroidvania that boasts amazing pixel art style graphics that utterly reek of atmosphere. With the variety of stages that are available, each has their own color palette and nothing looks or feels repetitive. However, everything keeps to a theme of forgotten and decaying relics of the past. From the prison cells to the forgotten sepulcher, everything still feels like it belongs in this universe. The enemies are unique and range from shambling zombies and archers to slime slug dispensers and sombrero-wearing spinning tops of death. Each has a unique attack animation and style, and there is never a moment where the game feels like it's repeating itself too much. The bosses and mini-bosses are also spectacular in design, never settling for same guy, new weapon. The prisoner also has weapon animations that vary across the vast array of tools at his disposal. As far as music goes, again, it is atmospheric and deliciously dark. They have a medieval Arabian Nights vibe to them that's an absolute pleasure to listen to. Dead Cells is a roguelike platformer, and that involves a lot of running, jumping, and rolling. No joke, the dodge roll is the biggest lifesaver in the game, and being able to literally combat cartwheel through damage is amazing. The controls of the game are simple. You have 2 weapons, 2 skills, each their own specific key or button. Weapons are varied and range from assassin's daggers and longbows to ninja whirlwind boots and dark orbs of death. The weapon selection covers a grand array of choices, and it never feels like it gets too samey. Each weapon, while similar in execution, is different enough to allow for a unique playstyle should you choose to wield it. For instance, there is the oiled blade, which coats your targets you hit in flammable liquid. Pair that with any of the fire-producing weapons and you deal bonus critical damage. Or stun enemies with a shield and then clobber them senseless with a massive hammer. And uniqueness doesn't go away with just the weapons. Each are given a random modifier that includes, but is not limited to, double damage taken and received, dead enemies explode, bonus damage to frozen, burning, bleeding, poison targets, tossing a mini grenade, and causing fire to rise from the ground whenever you walk, just to name a few. The skills could be anything from the arsenal of grenades to temporary power boosts. They are really the gravy on the mountain of mashed potatoes that is the weapons. They can be used on their own, they can be ignored, or they can be the best part of a meal because it just completes the dish as a whole, and gravy goes great with other foods, so it's not just confined to mashed potatoes. I think this analogy has gotten away from me. As was with the weapons, each skill has a modifier and all of the effects do stack with one another, so if you're lucky enough to make a high crit build, have fun sweeping the floor. Obtaining weapons will involve finding blueprints, rare drops that can be found upon defeating certain enemies throughout the island. However, to have access to them, you must first make it to a checkpoint and then pay cells to have them show up in-game. And beyond the items you pick up, you also get access to runes that allow you to teleport through smiling coffins, climb up walls, summon the Mario 3 beanstalk, and more. You are not entirely alone in this forever maze of the macabre. You will meet other inmates, the mysterious collector, the scribe, this dude who works at the refinery, and lots more. Each has their own reason for being in the game, mostly involving upgrading and unlocking more gear for you, granting buffs in the form of mutations, and adding a little bit of whimsy to this gothic tale. Well, I think they're whimsical. I mean, look at this little guy. I just want to pat him on the head. The boss fights are intense and never feel like a cakewalk. The levels themselves can be just as much of a hazard as the bountiful collage of enemies that will render your busted corpse to an even gorier busted corpse. And that's not all. There are currently 4 levels of hardcore mode past the basic playstyle, and each level just gets more and more brutal and unfair in levels of purified and concentrated difficulty. To compare the highest level of difficulty in Dead Cells to Dark Souls would be a joke. I have played all the Dark Souls games, also Bloodborne, and while I am no means an expert on any of them, I at least have an idea of what I'm doing. 4 Cells mode takes your coffee, kicks you out of bed in the morning, and expects nothing but perfection, and will beat you to a quivering pulp if you don't get up and get good. Before I found Dead Cells, I had always wanted to make a platformer roguelike, with lots of weapons and varying paths. Whenever a friend sent me this as a gift, it was like hearing music for the first time. Everything that I could want in a game like this, I had. Is it hard? Only if you want it to be. Is it unfair? Only if you crave that kind of challenge. Is it worth playing? 1,000 times yes. With that being said, I give Dead Cells a rough diamond out of 10. And the Rogues Gallery seal of approval. The amount of potential this game has is astounding. It is still being updated and is going to be in my playlist for a long time to come.
If you would like to see more of the gallery, please join our subscribers. Ringing the bell will ensure you will be notified in a timely manner. I would like to give a special thank you to Ravenclaw Ratpack and Guillaumon182. This video and perhaps this series would not be here if not for your wonderful support. Thank you so much.